Before starting the session, do we have any doubts related to the previous sessions?
No, Venkat.
Okay,
No, Venkat, I'm good.
Good? Okay, fine. Okay, so yesterday we have seen how the left outer join performs, and today we will see from the right outer join. So to do the right outer join, what are the settings we need to do in the join? So first thing is join type has to make it as an explicit join so that a two parameter becomes available, record required 0 and record required 1. So to make it right outer join, we have to make false and true. That is record required 0 should be false and 1 should be true. So this is how we can get a right outer join. Means all the records from the in1 port has to be come to the output port. So the distinct departments between these two files are here 10, 20, 30 and 50 are there, and here 10, 20, 30, 40 are there. So now we are expecting all the records from department file to the output file. So 10, 20, 30, 40 will come here, and the non-matching record is a 50th department. So that record should go to unused port because nowhere it will be participated in the transformation. So let's see the data in the files and then we will execute it. Okay. Yes, we got 10 records. So the 9 records will be the matching records which are related to the kind of an inner join, and one record is a non-matching record from the in1 40th department. So all the fields which are participated from the in0 will be having either nulls or the default values whatever we have given. So in the left outer join example, when we got the 50th department record here, we got zeros and n by a's, which is like a meaningful. But here we are getting all the fields will be of null values and a 40th department. So this 9 records will be like part of the like a join inner join, and this record will be the part of the right outer join, which is don't have a matching record with the EMP file. So now we are getting a null values, means in the transformation we did not have any else spot kind of a thing or a prioritized. Yes, we have priority only for the in1 fields. We don't have priorities for in0 fields. So that is the reason all the values we got it a null value. Is it clear?
Yeah. Venkat, one thing.
Yeah.
Suppose I have created a few graphs at my end.
Okay.
So while running the graphs, if there is any null value, it is throwing some error. So do we need to handle the nulls externally?
No, it will be going for a source data has to change either the data model has to change it, because if they are expecting like the graph has failed saying that for one of the field is populating with a null values, means it is coming from the source itself. So but the
Yeah.
business people are not expecting the null value in this field, so we have to highlight this scenario and get it clarified with the business people. So whether you are sending a data from the source itself, means the data model has to be updated with like for this field the value of there are expected of the null values. If they say like we are not expecting null values, then the data from the source has to be corrected. Either data has to be
Okay. So.
corrected, first they have to confirm. We cannot take the call on these situations.
Mhm.
Clear, Bagra?
So means yeah, means even though if it is null, I just want to access the data, then I need to externally give the transfer function, and I need to define that first one is int or something, and if it is not, then you can go for the null value, right?
Yeah, we can do that, but even though the default value also they have to say, we cannot take what kind of the
Okay.
value also we are going to populate it. This is just for testing
Mhm.
purpose. I have shown with some values like n by a, but
Okay.
in the real time, even the default values also we cannot take the call. They have to confirm.
Okay. And Venkat, how Abhishek will identify that this should be mandatory field, or this should come as null
Yes,
based on which criteria
yes. Soon we
it
will
will check?
discuss that. And give me a couple of minutes. We will discuss that.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. So one of the records from the in0 file has went to unused report. So this record will be 50th department, where we don't have a matching record from the in1 file, and we are not expecting this record to flow into the output port. So this is the reason it went to unused report. So similarly, when we have executed for the left outer join, all the records from the left table has went to the output, and the non-matching records from the in1 has sent to the unused one port. That is 40th department we have seen in our previous example. Let's take the another example. Yeah. So this is what you are expecting, right? Some of the data is getting rejected. Okay. Let's see the data again. Same number of records and same data in the EMP file. And DPT also same, and we are doing a right outer join. So the join type should be explicit and record required 0 and 1 should be false and true. Yes, this performs the right outer join. So we are expecting the matching records will be the 9 records, and so that for these 3 records there are matching records of 9 records and 1 unmatching record. So totally 10 records we are expected to populate in the output file, and 1 record has to flow to unused 0, that is 50th department. Let's run the graph and see. The graph gets completed, but we didn't get 10 records, we got only 9 records. Let's look at first what are those 9 records, which is like equivalent to the inner join. We didn't get a 40th record. These records or 9 records are equivalent to the inner join operation when we have done. So 40th department, it neither went to unused. Of course, unused 0 has went that 50th department as we expected. Okay. Yes, this is fine. And why the 40th department has not sent to the output port, that we will see. So the record has been rejected. So the 40th department record has been rejected, and which is part of in1 file. So it has sent to the reject one. Yes, the 40th department has been rejected. The reason is the null value in assignment for EMP number. So previously we didn't get, now we are getting it. So what could be the reason? The same example we have executed just a couple of minutes back. We got 10 records here and none of the records are rejected and we didn't get any error. So here the fourth flow and this last flow will be 0 records and here we got 10 records. But in this example we are getting an error saying that null value in assignment for out.employee number. So what will happen? So if the record is going from an inner join, let me close this unused 0, not required. Okay, so if the record is flowing to the output port saying like all the null values for employee number, employee name, manager number, salary, department number, and here 40th department, billing and Delhi values. 10th record should be like first 5 fields nulls and the next 3 fields will be 40 billing and Delhi. So if I am passing a null value to the one of the field, that null values, it has an eligibility to take the null values for that field. If it does not have an eligibility to take it, it will reject the record. So in our previous example, the fields, all the fields are having the null value capture, but to make the reject of one of the records, the DML has been modified which it should not expect the null values. So here if you can see the record format or the structure of the file of the output file, we just given employee number should be of type decimal and it should not accept nulls, and employee name is of type string and it should not accept nulls. Manager number is also of type string and not accept excuse me, nulls. So any of the fields are accepting null values. So that is the reason when we executed for the right outer join, the first 5 fields, all the 5 fields are getting null values, but whenever it start get assigned to the first field, that is employee number, there and there itself the graph got rejected that record. And let me show you why the other graph has been succeeded with the 10 records. Here we have all 0 records, only unused 0 we have it, and we have 10 records. So this is also a right outer join. So here we got all the null records, means in the DML of the output port has a provision to capture the null values. So here also employee number is of type decimal and we are expecting nulls also. So all the fields we are expecting nulls. So that is the reason the output file has a capture the null values. Clear, Bhagiraj? Am I answered your question? Hello.
Yeah, Venkat.
Okay.
Hello.
So in your case, we
Hello,
cannot take
Venkat.
the call because this is as part of the training. We can give any values for that, but it has to go to the business user. Let them decide what values they have to populate. Either the data has to change or else the data model has to be updated accordingly.
Oh. And Venkat, one more question.
Pardon?
One more thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, for example, I have a big graph. So I need to carry that null values to the complete graph at the end of the graph. So do I need to define the in each TML I need to define this one?
Wherever the DML is getting changed, all the DMLs
Yeah.
you have to make this propagate. You have to. In all the DMS, this
Okay.
field has to be propagated. See, whenever you use like a reformat component or the join component, we are expected like the DML of the output port will be changing, right?
Yeah.
So in all the places, you have to take, make the propagate of this field to the null.
Okay.
Wherever you
Okay.
stop doing this, in your the complete graph, in that component,
Mm.
the graph will fail.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And similarly, full outer join. So full outer join means all the records from in0 and all the records from in1 has to be flowed to the output file. Let's execute it. And what are the settings we have to do for full outer join? Two ways we can achieve. One will be with explicit join and making both are false, or else directly we can select join type as full outer join. Let's see this first in this case. Okay, but there are a rejects. Again, the error could be same thing. The 9 records we got it, which are like n type of an inner join. This we already know. And the reject 0 should be 50th department. Yes. And the reject 1 will be 40th department. So what is the error saying that when the record from the in0 has been rejected, that is 50th department, the error will be like in the error 0 saying that null value in DNO field. Yes, when this record is getting rejected, it says that the other three fields values will be null, so which cannot be accepted, the null values for these fields. So it says that null value in assignment for out.dno. And similarly, when this record is getting rejected, all the null values will be populated for employee number to department number. So the error one will be null value for out.employee number. Yes. So again, this will be a problem like with the DML. We are not expecting the nulls. If you change the DML to expect the nulls, then we will get all the records. Okay, so none of the records are sent to unused or rejected. All the records has been flown to the output file. Yes, this is a full outer join. So far it's an inner join, and this is a right outer join record, and this is a left outer join record, populating the null values for the other fields. When left outer join, we will populate the nulls for the right fields, and right outer join we populate nulls for the left fields. If we don't want the nulls to be appeared, then we have to make the changes in the transformation by prioritizing it. So the DML will be expecting the nulls. Yes. So here we complete the join examples, and before going for the next session, like so far we discussed the count parameter, sorted input parameter, key parameter, and let me select the join type as a full outer join, and then we will close it instead of explicit a full outer join. So the next two parameters are disappear when I select a full outer join. Explicit, we got it both false and false, and if I select full outer join, okay, both the parameters are disappear. Let me rerun this graph. Yes, the same output it will be. So both the ways we can achieve it. The inner join and the full outer join, in two ways we can achieve the result. But left outer join and right outer join, it can be achieved only with the making join type as an explicit join, and record required 0 and record required 1. Two parameters becomes available to make the left outer join. 0 and 1 should be true and false, and right outer join 0 and 1 should be false and true. So coming back to the parameters, each of the parameters what we discussed. So here we didn't see select another dedupe. And override key we have seen, max memory, all this for the internal purpose, max memory, max code under the driving port. So one question here I have is, if I just put it like select 0 is department number not equal to 30, and making the dedupe as dedupe this input, dedupe 0, because let's say this is not the real scenario, just to understand how each of the parameters will be performed or how it will get executed. Just to understand this, I'm taking this scenario. Let's say like select 0, I have defined like department number not equal to 30, and dedupe 0, I made it as dedupe this input. So what kind of the result you are expecting that in the output? Let me open this input file, two input files, then we will conclude with the join. Let's say like you are doing an inner join. So for the inner join operation, I say like select 0 is not equal to department 30, and dedupe 0, I made it as dedupe this input. So let us know like just take it to 3 minutes time and say that what kind of the records will be flowing to the output port, and what are the records will go to unused, and what are the records will go to reject ports, what could be the error for that. You can take 2 minutes on your paper, and as per your understanding just make a note, whether it's right or wrong, that's fine, we will discuss that how it will operate it. Just wanted to know what, so that you will be more confident what you understand. Is it fine?
Yeah.
Okay. The requirement is select 0 will be department number not equal to 30, and dedupe 0 parameter we made it as dedupe this input.
Venkat, can I say, as per my understanding?
Bhagraj, your voice is so low.
Can I say, as per my understanding?
Yeah, you can tell. And let me, one second, let me show the graph completely. So this is how the graph looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Bhagraj.
Yeah. See, I think if it is an inner join, then record 10 and record 4 will go to unused reports,
You are giving the
and
result.
to unused 0 and unused 1.
One second. You are giving the result.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you wait for 2 minutes and
Yes,
let
yes.
Ravli also do it from her side. Once she is done, we will discuss that.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, fine. Ravali, are you done? Can we start discussing?
Yes, Venkat, we can.
Okay. Yeah. Bhagaraj, you can start. You have started, right?
Yeah. So means the 10th record and the 4th record will go to the unused ports
Record number
from these two.
4.
10. 10,
1
10,
second,
10.
let me sort it.
10 on that.
So this data is from the
Yeah.
input file. So we are using a sort component. So on the department number, we are doing a sort. So let me sort the data. Okay. Now this result will go to the join component as part of the in0. Okay. Yeah, you can tell me now.
So now we are using the inner join.
Yes.
So the 10th record will go to the unused port. So we are not
This
using the
record
10th
will go to
record.
unused port.
Yeah.
Okay.
10th record. 50 means depart number 50. Department number 50.
Okay. 50 will go to unused 0. Okay.
Yeah. In the second IN1 port, I mean the record depart number 40 will go to unused port.
Okay.
So we're not using that. Okay. And we are selecting. We don't want that 30th department number.
Yes.
We're giving in select query that not equal. So this will go to the reject port, I think.
Okay. This 30 will go to reject port.
Yeah. In the
Okay.
IN1 also the 30th record will go to the reject port.
Okay.
IN1.
This 230 will go to reject port.
Yeah.
Okay.
select 0
And how many records will be flowing to output file?
2 records only.
2 records.
We are using
Can
deduct.
you tell me which
We are
are those
using
2
deduct
records?
based on I mean, 7th record and sorry, yeah, 7th record and 8th record.
Okay.
Record numbers, yeah,
This
8th one and
and this.
last one 7th. Yes, yeah,
Madhu and Preeti.
yes, yes.
Okay. So how about like these 3 records and
I think that will
these 2
go to
records?
reject port.
Pardon?
Reject port. Reject port.
Okay. And from in one file, 40 will go to
In one
unused 0,
also,
right? Unused 1, sorry.
yeah, unused. Yeah, unused one.
Okay.
30 will go to reject port.
That will go to reject port. Okay. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Ravali, can you tell me?
The reject port is that is also what I got. 30 will go to the reject port.
30 will go
Everything
to
from in
reject
0
port.
and in 1.
Okay.
And 40 and 50, I think they go to the unused ports.
Yes, unused 0 and unused 1.
And I am not sure what will go to the error port.
Okay. So, okay. So, 50% is right, I can say. One good part is you guys are saying like 2 records will go to the output ports. Yes, that exactly correct. And the records also, it's perfect. Which records will go to the output port? So here I said like select 0 is not equal to department number 30. So which is meant like these 2 records, or we are not even sending to the join component. So we are sending only 8 records to the join processing. Of course, these 10 records will come to the join, but select what we discussed, it is equivalent to the where class. So first the parameter will get executed is a select parameter. Anywhere, any component, whether it's a parameter or a function like input select, that is the first parameter or the function which will get executed before performing any of the operations or the transformations. So these 2 records, we are not even selected in the participation of the join. So the next 8 records we have it. So in this 8 records, again we are performing dedupe for 10th department, 328th and 150th department are there in the participation of the join, and we are saying that dedupe this input. So whenever we say dedupe, by default in the join component it will check the last record for the join processing. The other 3 records, will go to unused port. So the first 3 records of the 10th department will go to unused 0, and 28th department totally 3 records we have it. So the last record will go to the output port as part of the join processing, and the first 2 records from the 20th group again will go to unused port, and 50th department will flow to the join transformation. First, this is the first step of the processing. Directly it will not be going for the reject port. It will, whenever we performing the dedupe parameter, it will not be going it. The 50th department, only first 3 records and these 2 records will go to unused 0 port whenever we are performing a dedupe parameter, that is dedupe 0. And coming to here, we don't have any select and dedupe, all the records will go to the join. So now as part of this participation, we have 7th record Madhu and Preeti and Roshini, and we are performing with these 3 records an inner join. So 10, 20 and 50 are there. So 10 and 20, and we are doing an inner join. So 10 and 20 will go to output port, and 50 again now it will be traversed to unused 0, and 30 and 40 will go to unused 1. So is it clear? So none of the records will get rejected. If there is a null assignment or any of the data failures, then only it will go to the reject. So here what I wanted to conclude is, whichever are not participated in the transformation will go to the unused ports, and after participation in the join transformation, if any of the rejects are happening, then only the data will be flowing to the reject port. Clear?
Means Venkat, the transformation function will execute at the end, right?
Yes, after performing the select and the dedupe, then the transformation will get executed.
Venkat, can you
Run the
send me
graph for
tell
you.
me the order?
One second, I will run the graph for you. Same data. We are performing inner join, and I made select 0 as department number not equal to 30, and dedupe 0 as dedupe this input, and remaining every parameters we already discussed. Fine. Okay, let me run this graph. Okay, 2 records are flowing to output. So let me open the unused 0 and unused 1. Let me sort the data so that this sorted data will go to the join. So we made department number not equal to 30. So these 2 records will not be participated. And then dedupe we are performing it. So Madhu and Priti will be going for the transformation, and Charan, Suman, Mamata will be flowing to unused 0 from the 10th department, and corresponding from the 20th department, Priti will go for transformation, and Shravan and Jay will go to unused 0. And as part of the dedupe execution, this record will go to the transformation, and with these 4 records. So now Madhu and Preeti and Roshini will be satisfied after the select and the dedupe, and from in1 all the 4 records, as we don't have select and dedupes. So here the distinct departments are now 10, 20 and 50, but here 10, 20, 30, 40. So here 30 and 40 will not be having any matching record. So 30, 40 will be flowing to unused 1, and 50 from in 1 in 0 we don't have a matching record. So now then it will be traversed to unused 0. So these 5 records came to the unused 0 while performing the dedupe 0 parameter, and this record came to the unused 0 after the transform parameter get executed. And finally the output with Madhu and Preeti 10 and 20th departments. So is it clear now?
Venkat,
Yeah.
that 30th department number, it won't pick up anywhere?
No.
Not in
Once
unused?
after the select
Okay.
has been executed and whatever the records comes, only those records will be participated in the join processing. So those records we are not even participated in the join. So it will not go to either unused or reject. Nowhere it is. We can think like the 30th department itself not coming from the input like that, which is equivalent to 2.
Okay, fine.
Clear?
Got it. Yeah.
So here it completes all the graphs related to the join. Any doubts in the join component?
No, Venkat.
Okay,
No, Venkat.
hello.
Yeah, Venkat.
No, I didn't hear Ravali. Is it clear Ravali for you?
Yes, I said no doubt.
Okay, fine. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Venkat, one question.
Yes.
In normalize function, the select is coming in the transformation function, right?
What is that?
Normalize component,
Okay.
select will come in transformation function, right?
Yes.
Select of in, out equal to select of in something.
Input select.
So in that case also we are simply writing that in that some parameter name not equal to some number like that only.
Yes, exactly. But the difference
Okay.
between these normal parameters and the functions are like here we can write just an expression. I cannot write a block of the statements in the parameters.
Okay.
But
Mm-hmm.
for the function we can write a number of lines of code.
Okay.
Functions give more control over the selection.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and I have corrected the graphs related to the normalize. Just we will see that,
Yeah.
and then we will close the session for today. Normalize. We discussed simple transform and multi-stage transform. So for your question, I have corrected this vector data. So in just multi-stage transform example, we have shown like for customer C002142, first record will be amount 52.20 when we are doing a cumulative summaries, and second record will be 52.20 plus 22.25. The result will be coming like that. So now we are getting the result for the first record, and the second record will be equivalent. So that is like total sum we are getting it. So this is what, right? Bagraj, you are asking?
Yeah, Venkat. This is what.
3213, all the records 286.60, and 4221, 25, and 8231, all the records of total sum related to that vector. Before we have seen like 122.122, and then here 174.10. So let's show you how the transformation has been executed. So within the normalize, we have added this condition or the logic. So we have defined two variables. So here I wanted to discuss how to define a variable. So most of the programming languages will say data type and the variable name similarly, but here we are adding one statement, that is let. This is a keyword, we have to add it whenever we want to define any of the variables. So and remaining everything it's equivalent. Let decimal of 5, one variable we have taken decimal of count 0, and similarly sum of 0. So and how to use the for loops, this is how in Abinitio. For a count variable whatever we have defined, comma count always should be less than in dot entrance. So for the first record it will be 2, so sum will be 0, and for the count number of times this will get loop, and for every index we are getting the record from the vector and making the total sum and assigning that sum for all the records to the temp dot sum, and then the normalize we are assigning temp dot sum for the total sum.
Okay.
Is it clear, Bhagiras?
So
Ravali?
yeah, Venkat. For loop we can use
Yeah, we can use.
count means variable and limit.
Yeah, that is a condition. For loop will take like what is
Okay.
the initial value, and every time automatically it will get incremented by 1. So count is 0 less than
Okay.
in dot entrance. So nothing but like here we are checking the condition, right? Internally the same thing we are doing here. Always the index value starts with
Okay.
0 and less than and the value written by the length. So far the normalize will get executed. So similarly count is 0 and less than the size written by the length function. Here also we are
Okay.
taking in dot entrance.
Yeah.
Here implicitly that condition will be checked, but here we don't have that provision, so we are doing it, the for loop.
Mm, mm,
Clear, Ravali?
yeah.
You got how we
Thanks,
are doing
Venkat.
it?
This is the first time I'm using for loop.
Yeah.
Okay. And the another example you also like serial data. One simple example I have taken it just to show you like how we can split the serial data into multiple records. So let's say like semicolon is the delimiter for this. So customer ID, and for this customer what are the items he brought, and for each of the item what is the quantity he brought it. So if I run this, it should be split into two records. So mango is 10 and orange is 20, like this. So this is a serial data, we don't have any vectors. So first time we discussed vector to the serial and even serial to a serial. So that is the reason I said when we are discussing it, whenever we want to split a one record into multiple records, then only we have to use a normalize. We did not say anything like vector to the serial, but most of the cases we go for vector to the serial in real time. And to achieve this, as this is the old version, I have written with some other logics, but in the real in the new versions or the real versions we can do this in the more simplest way, because here I cannot do with the I cannot access all the functions available in the latest versions. Whatever the functions are available in this version, with that we have to achieve it. So I have done with some logic with the substring and index functions, but if we have in the real
Mhm.
version, then we can do with the something else also and make it more generic also. So here I have defined out as 2. Every time for each record, 2 records will get executed. 2 times the normalize function will get executed for index 0 and index 1. Which this is like not a generic thing. If I make another input record which has to be executed 4 times, then it will not perform. So to make it more generic, whatever the functions are available in this version, we cannot do it. So I made just to show you for a serial to serial data how the split will happen. I made one record with a value of 2 and executed normalized 2 times. So that is the reason we got 2 records in the output port. So is it clear?
Yeah, Venkat.
Okay, fine. Ravli, you got it?
Yes, Venkat. Sorry, I was talking on mute.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we will stop it here for today, and tomorrow we will discuss with the new component array format.
Okay.
And
Yeah, thank you.
Venkat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Venkat, can you share me these graphs and the records associations for me?
Yeah, I can do it, but because the total dump is like 20 GB we have each. So can I share it
Okay.
with the pen drive for you? Because you will reside in Pune, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you
So,
can give me like your address, I can send it.
sure.
Okay, fine
Then
then.
how about me, Venkat? How am I gonna get it?
You said you will check with some of the people in Hyderabad, right?
But yeah, I mean, okay, you can save all these sessions probably at end of our training. I can, send something and then I can copy.
Yeah, sure. At any time I can give you the details. No issues.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, Rahul. Okay. Thanks,
Thank
Shravya and
you.
Bhagiraj.
Yeah. Thanks, Venkat. Thanks.
Thank you.